Hello, Academy. As always, this is Junior Researcher Code MEC 411. This is day 6, and I've arrived in my third star system. A star system that, unfortunately, is also dominated by Gex. I remember the first time I met Gex. I must have been around 12? And I thought they were the most adorable reptilian humanoids I've ever seen, with their distended oculi and compact physiology. I remember walking up to an orange female and politely introducing myself, only to be shooed away, called a word my mother later told me meant spawn, and treated to a whiff of utterly repulsive gas. As a child, I thought they'd expelled refuse, farted, and was livid at their poor manners. Nowadays, I know gas and pheromones are an intrinsic part of their physiology and society. Still, that doesn't change the fact that Gex sometimes smell, and of all the races of the galaxy, they might well be my least favorite, even if they're no longer intent on dominating the known universe. Oh, and don't worry, they wouldn't understand what I say to you. I've never met a Gex who deemed it worthy of learning another language. Oh, you poor thing. Of course I'll help. Academy, I can guess the thoughts going through your mind, but I am no Alexander Khan. I wouldn't decline to help these people just because I had a few traumatic experiences. I guess it's because I do understand that my prejudices and biases are unscientific. They have no place in a rational universe. So before either of us get weepy, this isn't pity or even compassion, just science. I make my way to the nearest undiscovered planetary object. Look. Take note, Academy, of the scattered rainbow hues of the upper mesosphere, left-hand side. Obviously, there is some tricky elemental work involved here to create that beautiful and meteorologically fascinating phenomenon. One or more of the atmospheric elements here must be capable of refracting and dispersing light. I don't think it's water, because while it exists on the planet, see bottom right-hand side lake, the rest of the landscape appear quite arid, which leads me to the conclusion that these are particular pockets of gases that exist separate to the rest of the atmosphere, much like oil and water. The reason you see hues on the horizon is for the same reason rainbows are always found opposite to the sun, because of an optical illusion from the viewing angle relative to light source. Light enters that layer of the mesosphere, and some wavelengths are externally reflected, like the green of the sky, while others are internally reflected, like the reds and oranges. I'm afraid I can't explain the mathematical derivation of these refractive indexes without a comprehensive diagnostics of the chemical makeup of the sky, and I don't have the equipment for that on hand. But, Academy, if you would ever like to return here with a follow-up team, I will name this planet Sigma Alora, after the goddess of, you guessed it, Academy, rainbows. Radical atmospheres often lead to abrupt changes on the planet's surface, including flash floods or sudden droughts. You can see the impact of that on the flora and fauna of this planet. All of them are quite stout, with adaptations suited to a wide spectrum of habitats. They're survival experts, you can say. The flora, particularly, are all karyophiles equipped to handle limited water, despite the mild temperatures and all of those lakes here. Academy, is it just coincidence? Why would Sigma Alora, with its groovy rainbow-hued sky, be home to this Gek here? I've watched him all afternoon with increasing disgust. When he trades with others passing through this port, he attempts to beguile their senses with pheromones and trick them in trade, like he's attempting with me now. People have been giving away their precious elements to this criminal for free. So obviously, now I'll refuse and have this documented to show the next Gek authority I meet. Ha! You're done, pal. And that's my good deed for the day. In the evening, I find that a herd of tiny, graceful creatures have staked out this prime feeding ground. Hidnoggers, they're called. With their superior speed and ferocity, they're able to chase away much larger grazers. Even the infants here are fearless, dogging the heels after their parents. Now, unfortunately, they've sequestered a knowledge stone up on the hill. So, now that they've wandered a little further away, I'm going to take the chance. The Hidnoggers are quite spread out, and that one definitely sees me. They don't need the advantage of numbers, and oh dear. Well, as scientists, we recognize that sometimes the most beautiful things can be the most dangerous things. I mean, how many Alpha and Gamma students have lusted after Madame Gilder? She was the loveliest and the scariest of our instructors. That's the thought going through my head as this Hidnogger tries to kill me. I am more practiced now, though, than the first days of my journey. I no longer panic, and I can certainly avoid killing indigenous fauna. These natural defensive behaviors are more fascinating than frightening. I mean, look at that confident and dominating body language in such a small creature. Regardless, we are out of time, so that will be all for today. Academy, good night. NEC out.